We are on a beautiful map, Firienzeel, between the red Angmar player RotWK versus the blue Mordor player Mr. Smog. The very first game, the Clash of Evil. One of my most favorite maps from the design. It looks amazing, you know. It looks like, I don't know, I like the coloring a lot. I like the you know, the brightness of the map. It's not too bright, it's not too dark, you know, it's like perfect. Anyways, double mill opening for the Angmar player. On the other side, we see double slaughterhouse opening into the slaughterhouse number 3 into the first orc pit. And mill. And another mill eventually. Yes, so it's gonna be an economical opening for Angmar player RotWK. It's like a BFME 2 opening style. The players from BFME 2, they like to open with more economical openings, so they have a bit more money going. Maybe it's gonna work out, who knows? Hey Son Goku. Okay, so the plan is simple. I mean, to be honest, Angmar doesn't have too many choices. At the beginning of the game, you gotta build up your Hall of the Kingsmen. You have no other choice. You gotta do that. And orc pit number 2 is building up in the meantime for Smoky. Oops. My bad. Okay, orc pit number 2 into the orc pit number 3. So it's gonna be, you know, the day of the orc has come.
I will represent the men of Gondor.
Clasto, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. One last Champions League. I didn't see the last games. In Rise of the Witch King, it was Sauron who was able to win. And also the last big tournament, which was like for the $1,000 tournament we had a couple of months ago, for the Rise of the Witch King, was also won by Sauron. So Sauron is also in this tournament. He's gonna fight also today against in the semifinals number 2 between himself against Eternal. And the winner of this series is gonna fight against either Eternal or Sauron in the grand finals. Who's the favorite here? It's very hard to tell, because they are actually equally strong. They have the chance to win and lose against each other multiple times. I mean, there is a skill gap between a great player and a good player. There is a huge skill gap, you know, like they couldn't, for example, win in 10 games, maybe 1 or 2 games maximum. But in the majority of the time, the better player, the great player will win. But in this example here, in this matchup between Smoky and RotWK, they are both great. So you can't not predict that, you know? You cannot tell it's gonna be always very close, it's gonna be 3-2 situation, it's gonna be, when it's best of 5, it's gonna be best game number 5, which is gonna decide. Because it can also go 3-0 sometimes. Depends also on the fact how the players are feeling today. Angmar versus Mordor. I mean, I think they are very, very strong. Angmar has a bit more advantage early mid game, because you have to early transition after the you know, with the Wolf Den into Hall of the Kingsman. But I believe later on it's also rough, because Angmar can also be very strong in the mid to late game. You know, you have the Felwind Longshot combination, which can mess up every single faction. Mordor is still a beast from the east in the late game, so I don't know. We have not seen, I mean, first of all, that's a new version of the patch 2.02. I don't even know what is changed at all, right? I don't know how they touch those two factions, how they implemented new changes into these two factions. I've not even read the changelog yet, you know? Slaughterhouse, oh, that was really close actually. He killed the Trollmaster, right? Look, one HP. He's trying now, he's overcommitting now. He wanna go inside the jeans. Oh, yeah, okay, he took it down, that's good. And I think when you play Angmar against Mordor in this matchup, you wanna play a bit more aggressively early on. But again, you don't need to be too scared in this matchup if Mordor scales.
I will represent the men of Gondor.
Because you can scale as well. The only problem from the Angmar faction is that you have no eco boosting abilities. Like for example, Mordor has the chance to build lumber mills, or you can get industry from your spellbook. Angmar has no chance of doing any of that. So in a even situation, when you have like the same amount of command points available, Mordor has industry, Mordor will have more money than you. Always. MKZ, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Hey Swagny, welcome. Did you watch the latest BFME Reforged video? What, they made a new video? Really? I didn't. I'm checking on my phone. No, you are right. They actually updated like 1 hour ago. 1 hour ago, new video. We awakened the Balrog. I just checked with my phone. We can take a look into that together later on. Also, thanks for the primers, for the first time subbing to the channel after the first follow, my friend. Thank you so much, appreciate it. Really means a lot.
Clastor just subscribed. Welcome to Beyond Standards crew.
Thank you, my friend, appreciate it. Will BFME Reforged ever gonna get released? I don't know. Like, when you would ask me the question like 2 years ago, I would say definitely yes. But now, since it's been 40 years since the first announcement, I have my doubts. Will BFME Reforged be controller I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, when it's gonna be released, I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be, you know, Windows or PC exclusive, which you cannot control with your controller. Mouse and keyboard, my friend. OG. Just a Balrog. That's all they show. Okay, I didn't. I mean, to be honest, I didn't check the video yet. But I think the latest video beside this one was only music, if I'm not mistaken. Music they uploaded, and since then it's like 1 year ago. It was like 1 year ago, right? It was like in 2021, 100%. So since 1 year, all they update now is the Balrog. 1 year can be a long time, you know. Everything can change in 1 year. Okay, the commitment. Nice one. Great harassment, but you gotta be careful. There are too many units. Archers also. Troll Cage is building up now for Smoky, but Avi is putting lots of pressure on him. Like, infantry is moving forward, cavalry is moving forward. The slaughterhouse level 2, that's gonna hurt a lot. Mordor's eco is gonna be messed up because that means minus 75 command points. As you can see, the command points are dropping below 500, which will cause Smoky to be command points capped. He won't be able to recruit any more units anytime soon. In the meantime, the Angmar player has 625 command points. He has nearly 10 power points in the bank. Now the problem here is that the Haradrim Palace is only level 1. There is no cav for Mordor. That means the Angmar player might actually go for the Orc Summon with the 10 power points and combine this and time this with the War Chant. So you can go commit with a, you know, with a big army. You can empower the army with the additional summon from your spellbook and buff them all together with the War Chant, and you can go ham. Mordor has gone for the War Chant and Eye of Sauron for the double buff action, but I think he won't be able to achieve too much. Orc Summon will actually be used from the Angmar player defensively on top of the enemy infantry army. So Orcs, Orc Archers, and that's the good thing about the additional summons in this game. You can summon them on top of the enemy units, you know, into the War Chant. Now he will use the the infantry from the summon for the defense, and the cav is gonna move on to deal economical damage. But Mordor is actually kind of keeping busy, and you forcing your opponent to use this kind of defensively is not a bad situation at all for Smoky. Is Gollum enabled? Yes, sir. Gollum is always enabled. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think the first question we should be asking ourselves is if it's gonna be released. That's gonna be the major question. After it's released, you can always make it compatible with the controller too. But there are two major questions which we should be asking ourselves way before asking any other question. The first question, will it be ever released? And if you can answer the first question with a yes, the second question is, how long will it take? How long will it take to be released? Because if you could see the progress speed of the Reforge in the past 4 years, they are not getting any faster, you understand? Like, I mean, if it's gonna take another 4 years, trust me on that one, people will lose hype about it, and at the end of the day, they will play the game by themselves, you know what I'm saying? That's the problemo. We have a drummer troll cap, guys, from the Troll Cage level 2 in a tavern building up, which is only available in this very recent version of the beta. Tavern is actually already in BFME 2 files. Basically, it's a building which is existing in BFME 2, but it was not used for the Rise of the Witch King, because all of the units, including the Corsair, you could actually recruit from the Haradrim Palace level 2. And your upgrades you could buy from the Siege Works. Yeah, the bets are already open for the first game, but I think you missed it. I mean, leadership is pretty good with the RotWK ability. Hold ground stance, very smart move to not, you know, to make sure that the drama troll is not running into the enemy army. The mill in the front is gonna be definitely taken down. Look at the wolf packs, you know, they are taking care of these Easterlings like crazy. But Mordor, as you can see and tell, is getting stronger and stronger. He was using industry, also on the slaughterhouse here behind, for additional resource income. And here's a tavern level 1, Haradrim Palace level 2 upgrade is incoming. Here's a troll cage level 2. I would love to see a troll cage level 3 for the attack trolls. Would be quite nice, but it's not gonna happen anytime soon. 650 command points for Mordor and 500 command points for Angmar. You can see even the weak orcs, when you get a lot of them with the drummer leadership, they can also be quite chunky and very strong, you know, because with the numbers of 800 or more, they will get additional damage leadership, which is like a spell from the horde bonus that can stack with the war chant and the leadership from the drummer troll. So you can make them quite strong, not in terms of defense, but they can actually get a lot of additional damage output. Angmar is kind of struggling to keep up with the spam of the Mordor player. I mean, for every single unit Angmar player Ave has on the field, Smokey has like 5 units to answer, you know? It's like a 5v1 situation. Quantity beats quality. And yeah, not saying a word, Ave is gonna leave the game. Number 1, the blue Angmar player Mr. Smok versus the red Mordor player Ave have in the game number 2. Slaughterhouse opening. I think one of the mistakes from the Angmar player was, you know, like, I believe Angmar is kind of feeling too confident to keep spamming from the level 1 Hall of the Kingsman. But the problem here is that against Mordor, you cannot keep up with the spam. You know, your units are way more expensive than orcs. So when it comes to spam against spam, I think nothing can beat Mordor. Maybe goblins can, but not Angmar. So when you play Angmar, you have like really strong elite units. You have like very strong swordmen, the Black Numenorians, for example. You have also very strong archers, the Black Rangers. And with that being said, you need to kind of find the sweet point of making the transition and getting the stronger units on the field, because one Black Numenorian can easily kill like 4 orcs, you know, by himself. With tier 1 units only, you cannot win this game. We have 3 slaughterhouses, orc pit into the orc pit number 2. On the other side, we have like an earlier barracks than in the previous game. 3 meals, Hall of the Kingsman. Okay, I mean, last game, Mordor went actually for a drummer troll, which is something you don't see very often. Normally, you would see Mordor way faster making the transition into the Haradrim lenses, which was not the case in the previous game. Let's see what is going to be the choice of this Mordor player. Best of 5. The Gundabad Orcs. If you can microwave them quite nicely, you can keep them alive. The good thing about them is, even when they are level 1, they can respawn over time, you know? You only gotta save this guy in the back, this one. This is the most important unit, and if you can save him, you are good to go. Oh, you gotta body block this, man. You gotta body block this, very important. Place your orcs right here and right here. Okay, he's losing time though. Like, it's a fast-paced game, it's about momentum. You gotta create momentum, and in RTS games, also in this game, the early game is the most important stage. So very smart move from Avi, body blocking, denying them from committing. Always keep following. You don't want to right-click on the enemy units. When you right-click, your units might do some dumb stuff, you know? You always want to click the area you want to move, but you want to make small clicks. For example, you don't want to click like this, you know, because the units, they don't always choose the right pathway. They don't always path this the perfect way. That's why you should, when you want to micro around, make like small clicks. Body blocking, but in a one-on-one situation, the Gundabad orcs are just way stronger. There is another push coming with 2 more. 3 orc pits, but yeah, Mordor is in a defensive situation. We have 2 Hall of the Kingsmen for the Angmar player. No transition yet into the Wolf Den. And Haradrim Palace coming up next. So 4 production buildings after having only... he has 450 command points, but the question is, can he keep it though? That's the main question. Warchan has been used from Smokey. Did they pick factions? No, we spin the factions for the game number 1 and then we keep the matchup also for the game number 2. That's the format of this tournament. It's a back and forth matchup in which you swap the faction with your opponent in the upcoming game. On the same map, you swap the faction in the spot. Okay, 400 command points available for Mordor and also for Angmar. So pretty much on the same point. But you can see, you know, in this game, Mordor is more in a defensive formation versus the other game we have watched in the first game of the best of 5. The slaughterhouse here is going down. In the meantime, Angmar is very untouched. Like, he has not lost anything. He didn't lose a single mill yet. You know, that's very good. Because these mills are gonna slowly but surely hit level 2. And then the command point advantage is gonna get massive. Extrovers, orcs, maybe Wolfden now. Let's see. I cannot tell. Maybe it's gonna be a better choice if you actually build up the third Hall of the Kingsmen, you know? And then keep spamming infantry all the time. Maybe, like, this way you might be able to keep up the pressure even better. They should be able to save the mill, no problemo. The first counter push with 1, 2, 3 orcs in 1 orc archer. But look, there are also 2 Gunabad warriors coming. He has a bunch of them around this area with extrovers. I don't think Mordor can deal any damage here. To be honest, I like the positioning of the Wolfden. I think it's looking good, like right in front of the mill, you know? Like, this mill is gonna be so hard to be reached. They might maybe come in between this, maybe? If yes, then it's good, but if they need to go all the way around, it's gonna be hard because then the fortress is gonna keep shooting. Do you get more money on this patch? Yeah, I think so. I think they changed so you can make more money. 500 command points for Angmar and 400 command points for Mordor. PowerPoint wise, you have 3 power points for AWK and 6 power points for Smoky. So Smoky is definitely having a huge advantage. Let's see if we can keep it this way. Beautiful trample, no counter, no Easterlings to. I mean, they were not in the positioning. And 1 beautiful trample, and most of the orcs got slaughtered. That's gonna be the first mill Mordor will be able to take down. Now the question is the counter attack. Look at the positioning here, right? It's so good for. Oh, that's not a good trample from Smoky. Oh, I don't like this. But it's such a good situation for Angmar, because when you can find yourself in a spot like this, in which your extroverts they keep shooting at the enemy orcs the second they enter the battlefield. Look at the positioning. You are literally in front of the production buildings. That means they come out and you can shoot them before they can even, you know, do anything in return. And you can keep them in a check situation, which you can use this time to keep expanding, to keep getting stronger. And also the same situation like in the previous one, Angmar keeps spamming units just so he can keep up with the spam of the Mordor faction. But I think earlier or later, you gotta find the way of finding the transition. The orcs summon this time offensively into the war chant. So the slaughterhouse here is gonna be definitely taken down just like this one. Let's see how many more he can actually take down. Mordor keeps losing more and more map control. He's dropping down to 350 command points only. And he's far away from the industry power spike. He needs like almost 8 power points in total. Angmar can use this and then keep in the meantime making a bigger army. Look at this. Extra way, 4 of them. And then wolf packs to counter the Easterlings. They are one of the best counters. Look at the damage they are dealing, dude. That's like they are buffed Easterlings, by the way. And they get literally almost one-shot in the porcupine formation. That's kind of crazy, man. I'm using HD edition, yes. So that's the reason why. My game is looking a bit different than yours. And Avi is gonna not call it again, and he's gonna just demolish the fortress. That's it, boys. There is no pressure on the Dwarven player Mr. Smoke in this game. Unlike on the Goblin player AWK, who has lots of pressure on him. He needs to win this game. It's a very important game, it's a very important series, because if you lose that, you go home empty. But if you win that, you will at least secure yourself $30 cash prize, you know? 2 tunnels coming up for the Goblins, and 2 mineshafts coming up for Dwarves. Hey Kravas. Okay, so 2 tunnels into the Goblin Cave, and we have 2 mineshafts, archer range. That's something you can see most of the time against goblins when you play dwarves, because extroverts are just so good, you know, against goblin warriors. They have like semi-range. I think most of the time you can kill the goblins before they can reach out to you, so the goblin player can only engage and only fight against you if he has like a big outnumber advantage. Otherwise you can crush him, and the good thing about them too is that they can also deal structural damage, you know? They can hit way harder than archers. Okay, Goblin Cave number 2. So it's about scouting though. I mean, the Goblin player needs to scout. He needs to see. The only thing you can do, I think, early game is you need to kind of find the positioning of the mineshaft. If you can find the mineshaft and you can see them coming way before they can reach out to you, you can eventually deal damage to them. You know, you can make sure to destroy the mineshaft so he won't be able to bring in reinforcements, and keep shooting them down or harassing them before they can reach out to your buildings. But if you cannot see them coming, if you see them around this area, it's gonna be just too late. Then one push can easily destroy the tunnel and these 2 Goblin Caves. Problem with the Goblin Caves is they are just too weak in terms of defensive stats. You know, they have only 1500 HP. So taking them down is not a challenge for the dwarves, trust me on that one, because dwarven units are just, you know, made for rebuild or destruction. I mean, he's creeping for free. There is nothing that can check this area. So he was scouting the bottom and the top side. We have 2 extrovers into the 3rd one, and we will have a front line very soon. So the first push is gonna be kind of tough, because he will have 3 extrovers in total, you know, and he will have 1 pikeman plus 1 guardian for the front line to keep those extrovers protected. All they gotta do is survive, you know, keep this mighty and tanky guardians with the whole ground stands in front of the extrovers, deny the goblins to reach to the backline, and your 3 battalion of extrovers can demolish literally everything. I like this threat much more, to be honest. I think most of the time the Dwarven players are making a mistake of going for a very fast rush. You know, they wanna always rush at the beginning of the game with like 1 or 2 guardians, and if this is not working out, then you are pretty much doomed and you cannot win. But this is like a delete push, you know, delete rush, which is gonna be much more powerful, much more powerful. Look, creeping, making sure to get more map control, moving slowly but surely, every step he takes, he's securing. Look, mineshaft, and a little bit forward 1 more, and now he can build 1 more. That's gonna be a perfect situation, because even if he loses one of them, he has another one to pick it up, you know? And then the builder can actually build even a statue in a well offensively, and it's gonna be a nightmare situation. So he has a couple of archers, 1, 2, 3 of them, but again, extroverts are also gonna crush them, no problemo. The tunnel will be definitely taken down, and the 3 open Goblin Caves are just unprotected. He's going for a counter push though, with a big war chant. He's trying to kinda take something in return, but when it comes to deal structural damage, I don't think you can match with the strength of the Dwarven units. I think they can do much more, and they can cause much more devastation in compared to your Goblin warriors, even if you have more of them. Like, even only the fortress can take so many of them down. Look, 1 extrovert without the buff can fight against them for ages, you know? It's so hard and so difficult to treat bases with the Dwarven faction units. You cannot match the strength and the damage output from a Guardian, you know? Heal is gonna be used. He keeps going at this point. Maybe defending this area would be a better choice from the Goblin player. I don't know. The only good thing for Goblins is he's expanding very nicely. Look, he has 4 tunnels at the top side of the map, you know? Very good. He has 1 at the bottom side, which is gonna be found and taken down by those Guardians. He was able to destroy 2 tunnels, 2 mineshafts. And after the first couple of minutes, we can see Smoky is at 350 command points. His command points capped now, and he will just retreat. Very smart move. Why you would, you know, you don't need to lose them. Look at this army. Like, he will very soon be able to even take down the fortress. Trust me on that one, guys. Yeah, Ave has 550 command points, but he legit lost every single production building he has. Like, he has 0 production buildings, he has 0 Goblin Caves, you know? He cannot produce any units at this point. mean, yeah, the positioning of this was also not very good. When you build here, for example, it would be harder to reach. But I mean, the Goblin Caves, the tunnel was just too far away from the other buildings. He's now building the fissure in the spider pit at the same time. Doesn't even bother building or getting any more goblins on the field. Because let's be real, goblins, they don't stand a chance. I think if he would somehow be able to get, you know, spider riders early game, it would be a disaster. Because they have like 0 pikemen including in this army of the dwarves. But at this point, he will just keep losing tunnels. Because Smokey is expanding and also denying you from expanding at the same time. Oh, that's bad though. He lost 300 now for no reason. He can go for the cave pads. He has the power points for it. But he might also try to go for the 10. However, when there is a battle wagon nearby, I don't think it's a good idea to actually go for the White Man of Thunder and Summon, you know? Because the battle wagon can trample them the second they get spawned from the summon, and you are doomed. I think you legit need cave pads. Yeah, he went for it. You need it. Azok is also on the field. Level 2 has the pillage. How you wanna kill this dude? How you wanna kill this dude? He's so tanky. Like, the battle wagon is so tanky against anything but pikemen. Like, he can tank swordmen all day, you know? Azok is pretty fast, you cannot run away from him. And now with the pillage, you get money for every kill. Plus 3 in the bank. I mean, the goblin player has still 575 command points, which is not bad. Dwarves are kind of, you know, getting there. Archer range level 1. Hall of Warriors level 1. No heroes on the field for dwarves. And he's creeping at the same time. He wasn't able to find those 2 tunnels yet. This one is almost level 2. This one is gonna be slowly but surely taken down by these Goblin Warriors. Azok is popping off, by the way. Nothing is targeting him. Rallying Code is gonna be used on his extra burst, but Azok can keep getting... Oh, the pikeman though! Look, he's getting chunked now. Use Great Battle Rage. Run, you fool. Run, you fool. And look, as he's targeting the hero, the half-throw swordmen are demolishing the army from dwarves. And let me tell you that much, guys, this game isn't over yet. In a melee fight, this half-throw swordmen, they are also very tanky. Azok was getting in safety, level 4, so he has the great battle rage for additional damage. He can definitely take down so many of these enemy guardians and also even deal a lot of structural damage to the enemy mineshafts. Okay, I mean, that's pretty good actually for Awe. Maybe Spider Pit level 2 could be nice for the Spider Riders because he has 0 Goblin Caves under his control. And he has 750 command points, dude. Like, he has actually... What I think Scavenger would be a better choice. Call me crazy, but I think Scavenger... maybe not. Maybe not. I think we have already Azok. I don't know. Maybe Spiders could be a nice choice. It's a level 2 tunnel, by the way. It's a level 2 tunnel. This one is going to be taken... It was taken down. It's going to rebuild over time. But losing this one is going to be painful. So, Spiderlings for harassment. With 10 power points, you have the chance to summon the spiders, you know? With the spiders, you can actually try to take down some of the buildings. Because there is a level 2 mineshaft here, for example. And if you can take this one down and then eventually 1 or 2 more, then it should be a nice one. The dwarves are gone for the Undermine. Undermine, I don't know, like Undermine is good against goblins because it can almost one-shot the goblin warriors. They are very weak against Undermine, but I believe when it comes to deal with the half-throw swordmen, they are just too tanky to die from one Undermine. Unless he's looking for opportunity to go for a sneaky attack on the fortress. I mean, he has no level 2, he has no siege hammers, so... But this army is looking strong, dude. Oh my goodness, look at this clump. Leadership, you know, from the battle wagon, bunch of extroverts, 2 guardians in the front line. But again, look how vulnerable this actually is against spider riders. There are like 0 pikemen in this army, dude. Like, imagine 2-3 spider rider, you just use the cave pads. Oh, he went for the untamed allegiance on the troll layer at the bottom side. Now he has the cave troll under his control. Okay, maybe. I don't know. Hey, Grampy, thank you. I thank you, my friend, for watching. Appreciate it. 625 command points for dwarves and 700 command points for goblins. He's, you know, moving slowly. I mean, to be honest, he has no other choice because dwarves are just not fast. That's their weakness. The troll is punching. The boxer. Ooh, the under this. Holy moly, he killed almost all the spiderlings, my man. It was crazy on the mind.
I will represent the men of
And
Gondor.
it was perfect timing. I was just, scrolling in, and it was, it felt like the spiderlings are actually coming to my face, Okay, if he can take this one down. Oh, that's huge. Nice one. Nice one. Ali Babosh, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. $725 command points still for Dwarves. He actually never recruited any hero. Tsugo, hey, thanks for the follow as well. Thank you. Creeping, or not creeping actually, finishing off the lair. One troll could make it out, but I don't think he will be able to fight against his army. There are just too many extroverts. He's gonna run for his life. He's expanding so nicely.
X the Falcon just resubscribed for 7 months. Ahoy.
Falcon, eyvallah kardeşim. Thank you. 7 months. 7 months, my dude. Okay, I mean, where is the army from Goblins though? Is this all he got? I don't know. Rallying Call has been used, Warchan has been used. He has the key pads for the debuff. Let's see if he's gonna go for it. Dwarves have 7 power points and Goblins have 7 power points. Untamed Allegiance is gone, and that's the problem now, because there are no more creeps left on this map. So it's a very situational power point. It can help you for a little bit, but later on when there are no more creeps left on the map, it's gonna be a waste, I think, I don't think it's good, but yeah. Amiyaki, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Thank you. Alright, there is a Dwarven army. You shouldn't ignore this one, to be honest. I think if they can reach out to your structures, they can mess you up, The fight keeps happening. Battle wagons are throwing oil bottles on the ground. You can see it's burning. Half-troll swordmen, they cannot really engage. Nice body block here. Look, they are healing up over time. Oh, he actually went for the fortress. What the heck? Azog, dude! Azog is chunking it, my man! Great battle rager!
Mr. Krabby just resubscribed for
Azog
18
soloing
months.
the fortress!
Ahoy.
Hold on a sec, does he have rebuild? Yeah, he's good. But him chunking this and him forcing his opponent to actually pick up the rebuild is actually kind of massive. Because what is he losing out of that? Spiders are going ham in the meantime from the special summon. The battle wagons are going down. This guy doesn't want to stop. And there is also Gorkil the Goblin. I didn't even see him because he looks like a pleb in this game. He doesn't look anything special. The rebuild has been used, by the way. Look at the spiders going. Look at Azog going. Look at Gorkil going. They are going for the end of this game. And Dwarves might actually lose this after a phenomenal start into the game number 3. That's crazy. Mr. Krabby, thank you so much for the primers for 18 months, my friend. Thank you. Appreciate it. And look at this, the Spider Riders, Half-Troll Swordmen, perfect. The fortress has been taken down. I thought the Dwarven Fortress would be a much more tanky structure than it actually is. Look at this. Azog, a couple of Spiders, Half-Troll Swordmen was enough to actually take down the fortress to rebuild. And they don't want to call it GG, they are just gonna call it, they want to leave the game, and that's gonna be the first. But only one of them can make it to the grand finals. Is it gonna be the blue goblin playing with the Smog? Or is it gonna be the red dwarven player Ave Have? just gonna be eventually, I mean, beta means it can be changed, it can be adapted all the time. So they are working currently on the version 9.0 for the patch 2.02, and this is a beta. They are testing everything, if everything is okay, if nothing is underpowered, if everything is okay, strong enough and not weak enough. And if it's gonna be good like this, they will release that. 2 Goblin Keys, 3 Goblin Keys versus double archer range. But unlike in the last game, look, Smoky doesn't let him creep for free, you know, he wanna take this creep for himself, that's pretty good. And dwarves are expanding at the bottom side, so he was able to build 1 offensive mineshaft here and going for a big attack. So Rallying Call is available and War Chant is available. Rallying Call is gonna be used off screen, but it doesn't really matter anymore. I think it was before, like in the version 8.0 or maybe even before, when you would use your buff before your enemy could see you, they couldn't see the buff, they couldn't tell if you are buffed or not visually, you know, but now it's possible. I think the Goblin player was able to get the money. Look, Extroverts actually 1v5ing this situation, no problemo. The Goblin warriors, they don't stand a chance against Extroverts, but here it's a clump situation. He's trying hard focusing the tunnel. He will not be able to finish it off though. It's damaged, but it's not good enough. In the meantime, the tunnel in the front is going to be taken down. When you kill a goblin structure, it will leave a rubble behind. If you cannot destroy this rubble, the building will, after a few minutes, it will start rebuilding itself. I mean, he's trying to answer the goblin spam with extrovert spam, I think. But the thing is, goblins are of course much cheaper and also faster than extroverts. You know what would be amazing to see as a third production building? I'm telling you, the battle wagons, you know? Imagine you have double archer range, you are spamming extroverts and then you are sporting them with leadership. Would be quite lit. It's gonna be able to take it down. The problem here is they are dealing great amount of damage to the structures, but they are not dealing nearly as much damage to the tunnels as Guardians would deal. Creeping at the bottom side. Oh, Hall of Warriors coming up next. After the first couple of minutes, we can see 400 command points for goblins and 600 command points for dwarves. So when there is one thing RW is very good at, is the macro. Like him losing those traits, it looks like he's losing, he doesn't put enough pressure, but at the same time he's also expanding a lot. And Smoky has to find a solid answer to this problem. Because very soon, if he keeps, you know, ignoring that, RW is gonna grow rich. He will have lots of command points, lots of money, he can do so many stuff at the same time. You know, he can go for the battle wagons, keep spamming archers or extroverts in this case, get some frontline with the guardians or pikemen. He can do all of that. I would love to say a hero. I think against goblins, any hero could be nice. But the cheapest hero, of course, would be definitely Gloin. Gloin or King Brand. I think Gloin would be a better choice here, because there are just too many units for Brand to kill. And with Gloin, you have like this beefy, tanky frontline hero who can hit very hard, who is extremely tanky, and who can even devastate enemy structures. You know, it's like a perfect situation for the daddy of the Gimli. You can see it, you know, the goblins, they keep defending. That's not the problem, but the problem is Ave keeps expanding at the same time. Look at the minimap, look at the bottom side, look at the middle, for example, you see? Like he keeps building mineshafts left and right while he's fighting this. The goblins fully committed on this fight. He even used the cave pads, but he will be able to bring reinforcements, and this time he has a front line with the guardians in the front line. Extroverts, they can now deal damage from behind non-stop, and the goblins are forced to disengage. I think just like, oh, never mind, he actually went for the spider pit level 2 now finally, but the problem is spider riders, they are actually quite expensive. They cost 600 each, and the eco from Smoky is not looking very good in this game. 425 command points versus 650. There is a huge gap in the command points department, and very soon he will be able to summon the hobbits. So hobbits and Rallying Call, if he can time it, if you can wait a little bit, but I don't think he will wait. You know, I think he will buff those units. Yeah, he's gonna go for it. The tunnel here is gonna be definitely taken down. I think during this fight he will definitely get the power points for the hobbits, so he will have reinforcement for this great army it will be even more threatening, it will be even more dangerous, it will be even more deadly. I think the main win condition last game for the Goblins was actually the early, semi-early half-throw Swordman spam and Azog. They did a phenomenal job, but Smoky is not using any of these tools. Yes, he has a Spider Pit level 2, but he has not managed to recruit any of the Spider Riders yet. 10 power points in the bank. He went also for the Undermine, just like Smoky did in the previous game, doesn't want to go for the Hobbits, and Undermine can one-shot those Goblins. I want you guys to pay attention now to your screen, because what's about to happen is going to blow your mind. Look at this, look at this, look at this, please. Are you watching? Hello? Boo! I told you! I told you! That still only counts as one. And that's gonna be the game-winning push. That's like a Fields best situation if I've ever seen one. Because what happens, Smokey's like, okay, I gotta defend this. I'm gonna clump all my goblins together, use Warchan, I got this, you know, he's like focused in this moment, in this situation, you know. And then Harvey's typing, you know, like, I'm gonna blow up your army real quick. That's actually pretty, I think that's much more powerful than the Hobbit summon. It one-shotted the goblins, even through their buff, you know, that's crazy. Spider Riders are trampling in too deep. They will get slowed down. They cannot get out of the situation. Tainted Land will give them a buff, but you know, not only two of them are remaining on the field. They're gonna be taken down. The problem here is Smoky has this Spider Pit level 2 under his control now for a long time, but he couldn't manage to recruit any of the Spider Riders yet. He has not the money. He has not the ego to do that. And look at the minimap, it's red literally everywhere. Literally everywhere. This is a domination. I like this one, and Ave is gonna manage to get from a 2-0 defeat into a 2-2 situation and bring us to the final and deciding game in the best of 5 semifinals. We're gonna jump into the game number 5, and anything can happen. We will be on a different map with a different matchup. Let's see. Turkish House Mafia, thanks for the follow. Wildemirov, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Thank you guys. The fortress is gonna get demolished, and game is over, ladies and gentlemen. Mrs. Mock has been defeated. So we have the red Elven player Ave versus the blue Mordor player Mrs. Mock in the final game of the semifinals number 1 for the 1v1 invitational tournament for $80 cash prize. Mordor building a slaughterhouse and sending the builder number 2 straight forward. What is he planning to do? Is he gonna go for the siege force at the beginning of the game? I don't know. 2 Malone trees coming up for elves. Is he gonna scout with the builder, or what is he doing? Is he gonna build the offensive orc pit? Maybe tavern? Are we discovering a new meta, new strategy? I don't know. But I've never seen this before. I've never seen Mordor doing this. He's going all the way to this location, and yes, indeed, it's gonna be a forward tavern. Kinda crazy. 3 Malone trees in the meantime. And you know what? It's gonna be a perfect situation for Smoky, because look at the opening from the Elven player, you know? 4 Malone trees coming up. It's kinda crazy. So 0 units, and he will have units to deal with very soon on his face. So I wanna see this. 3000 HP tavern. And he has 3 slaughterhouses for you know, around this fortress, but 0 units to defend himself. So I don't know. I want to see their damage against structures too. They are supposed to be a counter to the pikemen and structures, but I think they are gonna be kind of crushed by the Lorien warriors in a one-on-one situation. Oh, the stable can also mess them up. I think they're also very weak against Cav. So timing matters. He will reach out to this before the first Lancer is gonna make it out. I mean, the first Lancer is not gonna be on the field just in time. So he's moving on. In the meantime, the other builder keeps building more slaughterhouses, I think. Okay. This builder is gonna try to buy some time, right? Fire bombs. Look, the Malone trees are very vulnerable against fire, because they are Malone trees, you know? Look at the damage. Oh, he puts water on it. That's a smart move. But he demolished a little bit too late. I think he cannot take this one down. The Lancer is gonna be just in time on the field. Is GG for elves? I don't know. I don't think so. This is not over yet. Because now the trample should be able to mess him up. Let's see. Hold ground stance. Switch, 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 switch. Oh, he didn't switch. It wouldn't change too much, I think. He puts water. He puts water on the Malone tree. Does it still burn? It's still losing HP, but it's gone now. So one Malone tree he lost. But this tavern is kind of useless now at this point, right? He cannot do much with that, because the Corsairs, they cannot do much against the Lancers. Look at this trample damage. 1 trample is all it takes, and 2 trample is enough to one-shot them. Now he needs Easterlings. I think at this point Smoky has to hide them. Hide them, don't show them, you know? Or creep at least. You can try to creep this one. There is on this map Dunland 2, you have actually, you know, Wildman of Dunland creeps, as you can see and tell. Leave one Corsair alive and the sheep are never safe. Is the builder invulnerable? No, of course not. You can kill the builder quite fast and quite easy, but in this game, what you can do with the builder is if it's getting too dangerous, you can just build a wall hub, and the wall hub is just too tanky to be destroyed. So that's what you will see in most games when your build is under attack. Just build a wall up with him, and then you can cancel the wall up later on. But the wall up can't be destroyed. He's saying WTF. He's surprised about the Corsairs coming from the top side all the time, and he's now moving forward. The only good thing about the situation for Smoky is he's putting pressure on elves. He himself is pretty much untouched, right? He didn't lose any of the slaughterhouses, so elven player was kinda only able to defend himself, but didn't deal any damage to the Mordor's economy yet. This is about to be changed. But the Easterling can actually be used to defend this, no problemo. He's creeping at the same time. I think it was a mistake from Smoky to use Warchan on the spot. The Warchan wouldn't do anything against Lancers, because the counter system is so much stronger than any other thing you can do in this game.
I will represent the men of Gondor.
Benta, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Okay. The Lancers, they can't do much. Does he have a barracks yet? Yeah, he's going for the barracks. He went for the stable level 2 for the Lindens. Linden Horse Archer. And to be honest, guys, did you ever seen this? In the very late game, I've seen this a couple of times, not too many times because it's expensive, but if you manage to get to this point with the Elven Army and you get the Silverton arrows on your Lindens, this is kind of cheating, you know what I'm saying? The amount of damage they are dealing while being extremely mobile is kind of... There is no counterplay to that. You cannot fight against them. Oh, look. But he's committing here, right? Very smart move from Smoky. Again, the only bad thing, he made the bad choice. He went for the war chant before on the spot. Imagine him using war chants now. That would be kind of pretty lit. The builders are chilling.
Saddle up, horse archers.
Oh. I think he was running into the pikemen. He wanted to E-click, I think, so he can keep shooting them down all the time, but I think they run into the pikemen. That's what happened. Oh, look at the Lindens. To be honest, the Corsairs are kind of messing them up big time, dude. And he's gonna leave. Oh, that's kind of bad, dude. Like, we have seen a really intense 4 games, and I'm kind of sad that this game ended like this one.